Hi, welcome to my channel. I cover tech topics, tutorials, how-tos on commonly asked questions. So today we're going to be doing a step-by-step guide showing SQL images in Power Apps. First, let's go through the requirements. Before we dive in, let's make sure that you have everything you need. Starting with SQL Server, I'm using SQL Server 2022 Developer. It's free and you don't have to pay for any of it. Secondly, SQL Server Management Studio, SSMS. These two places are where we'll store and manage our image files. Next, you need a Power Apps Premium license. So SQL Server is a premium connector in Power Platform, so make sure that your environment has access. Next, you'll need an on-premise data gateway. This is what lets Power Apps securely connect to your local SQL Server. You can download it from Microsoft official documentation page. Your gateway should be installed in standard mode. You should log in using your Power Platform account. You have to use the one that's on your Microsoft environment. Don't use your personal email or it's not going to work. You have to use it to be able to connect. Without the gateway, Power Apps won't be able to communicate with your SQL Server database running on your machine. Step one, you're going to create the table in SQL Server. I had to delete my other server because I wanted to show you guys this example. I stopped all my servers because I was troubleshooting. I had a local host and a rows. We're using the rows one, but I had to stop it. So when I wasn't sure what happened, because I've never worked with SQL before a day in my life, I had to go into services and start it again because I stopped it. Apparently stopping all my servers will also, as you'd expect, stop your servers. I logged in, SQL Server. Right now I'm doing encryption is optional. That is not security best practice at all, but what I needed to do was I need to make a login just so I could prove that you could log in as a data connection in Power Apps, which I'll show later. I went into my rows, I made a new database. I'm going into database one and I am going to create a table, attachment demo. The unique image identifier is the first line. I then have the file name attachment, which is the binary data. Create the table, just to prove that it's there. Go into my tables folder and you can see it. It's attachment demo. I'm going to do a new query just to prove that there's a blank attachment demo table with nothing in it. Run select star from attachment demo. I'm going to run a new query for inserting an image into my table. So the first image I'm going to do is my ACD image, which is Australian cattle dog, which is the dog that I have. That's not a specific dog, but that's a picture of one. And then I'm going to do test image, and I'm going to show you the test image is actually less pixels than the ACD one. I'll show you how to check that in a second. So right now I'm doing ACD. The image, I'm going to execute, paste in another query, just proving that the image has made it into attachment demo table. If I can remove the where file name equals ACD and it'll show every single image that's in there, but there's only one in there right now. So now we're going to do test. And now I'm going to prove that both images are in there. So there's ACD and there's test. Next, I'm going to show the size in bytes in attachment demo. I'm going to get rid of the where because I'm just going to show the size of both. And as I said before, the little Pikachu one is around 4,000 and the ACD is around 11. So different sizes, and it doesn't really matter. I think sometimes if it gets to a higher pixel size, then you'll start running into issues, but for this tutorial, it doesn't matter. I'll be getting a new query, and this will create a Base64 conversion function. Since Power Apps can't read binary directly, we need to convert it to a Base64 string. What this function does exactly is the app bin is the binary image passed in. Cast turns it to a Base64 string, and the result is something that Power Apps can interpret as an image. You might be wondering why Base64. Binary data like images can't be displayed directly in Power Apps. Power Apps needs a format in which you can understand a text-based field. The string will start with something like data, semicolon, image / JPEG, Base64. And this tells Power Apps, hey, this is an image, I need you to decode it. And the format combination, a data URI prefix followed by the actual image and encoded in Base64. And Power Apps takes this string, decodes it internally, and renders it as an image inside a gallery or a form, which we'll show later. Creates a view that combines image info with the Base64 string, and this is what Power Apps is going to connect to. This is just creating our view. We're gonna put in another query that checks that the view works. You should see a Base64 column that begins with data semicolon image like we just talked about, and it's right there. So here I'm just gonna create a new Power App. I'm gonna do from a blank canvas here. I'm gonna do a tablet size just because. Okay, add data. I'm going to type in SQL Server, previous items that I was using in my other Power App, but I'm just gonna add a connection. I'm gonna use SQL Server authentication and type in my server name, which is Rose, and my SQL database name, which is database1. I'm gonna choose connect using on-premises data gateway. That's one of the steps that I mentioned that you would need. So my username, which is Power Apps user, and the password, this would be the next screen where you choose your table. And of course, I'm gonna choose the image Base64 table that we made. I'm gonna connect. I'm going to add a gallery here, and that's my image Base64 gallery. And immediately you'll see the type and then that column, and where the image is, you want to type this item Base64 image, and it'll pop up right away. Now just to show you something, I'm going to take that text line and paste it into this little URL here, which will be a Base64 to image converter, just to show that that line is translated into an actual image. It works for both. Okay, that was my video, and thank you for watching. If you found this useful, you can like. If you didn't, you can comment and tell me that this wasn't useful and a different tutorial that would be useful for you. What I end up doing is I end up looking at the forums, or in this case, just answering a comment that was a question, and I can do a tutorial on simple or complex items. If you have something to say or something that could have been done better, please let me know. This is my first time ever using SQL, so bear with me. I hope to have some other basic SQL tutorials coming out shortly, just because I enjoy learning new things. So I want to learn more about SQL, even on a base level, and do some integration with Power Apps, even if it's one or two more, just for beginner entry SQL database connections to Power Apps. All right, talk soon.